Hi guys, this is Luton, and today I've got a video for you on Conquest Canals. Now, the funny thing about this one was that yesterday I got a message, and it was from, you guys know the Battlefield Friends series, which is on Machinima. It's very popular, and basically one of the guys from that, the guy who plays the engineer, he messaged me up after watching my roundtable discussion videos, and he was like, "Oh, hey Luton," he was like, "I really loved your videos." He was like, "Yeah, we should definitely catch a game," and that's what I'm doing here. He's in my squad right here. Now, the other really interesting thing was, I said to him, I said, "How did you find my video?" I was expecting that, you know, someone had recommended or said, "This is interesting, you should check it out." He said, no, he said he was just literally searching, typed in Battlefield 3 level Cap Matimio, and that one came up. And you know, then he checked it out and really liked it, and then we made a small Battlefield Friends reference in the video, so he decided to come play with me. And the other really interesting thing is that potentially he could, well, I mean, I think him and one of the other guys that makes that series is going to do a video or a couple of videos with me discussing things, and I said also might ask you some questions, etc. So I'm hoping that we can sort that out pretty soon, but I'm sure you guys would be really interested to see that, and I'd be interested to do it. So I think it's going to be really nice, and it's great. You know, I've been really pleased with the way my channel's been going, and the comments that I get from different people, and the attention it's been getting from some people as well, because I still my Armored Kill review, I mean, that one I posted on it, but if you guys didn't know, with my Armored Kill review, you know, Dan Matros Zinto, he actually messaged me on Skype and said, you know, good job with that video, it was really well done, etc. So it's really nice to, you know, when you put time and effort into something, to get feedback from your peers, I guess would be the best one. Now, here we are into Conquest. Now, this game, it was not the most astonishing game for me, right? It really wasn't. I did okay. The thing that was so good about this game was it was just enjoyable. And that's something that I've been really having a hard time. In fact, I haven't put up so much footage lately because I said to my guys yesterday, I said, I'm having a really hard time finding footage that is actually decent, anything that I can actually say positively. And I don't want to post up videos going, "Oh my god, look how much we suck, look how bad my team is." I don't want to post that because you don't want to see it, and I don't want to commentate it. So I was waiting until I could have something good to say. But the interesting thing is, this round, you know, I don't finish with like some epic KD of like 18-1, unlike, I have to say, Ackbar, who, as you know, is one of my sort of team squad members that I play with regularly, and yeah, he dominates in this damn tank. I was trying to take him down so much, but really needed some help out. And Raven here as well, also one of my squad guys, and yeah, you can see he's wrecking us. Raven is an extremely good gun player. You will notice this throughout any games I play with him, and he's particularly frustrating to go up against because he would destroy you every single time. Anyway, so off we are in the game. Now, the annoying thing is that you can see we've been immediately spawn trapped, basically. And you'll see how the game progresses, but it's another reason why I was kind of happy with the turnout for this game. The other thing was that, you know how it is when you're playing, and you get basically to the end of the evening and you think, oh, is there a chance, you know, how is this round going to go? And at this point I was thinking, oh my god, we're just going to get dominated now and this game's going to be miserable. But I was pleasantly surprised. And also notice the tow launcher there. If you haven't used the tow launcher, which I'm sure everyone has, but if you haven't, you really need to try it because it's so good, especially for Armored Kill. The tow launcher, when you fire the missile, okay, you can basically guide its, you know, trajectory by just moving it. So once you fire, you stay in that aiming screen, and it allows you to basically control the missile's direction, and you can guide it straight onto your target. So even if a tank is, you know, moving, you can, as long as you keep that crosshair on the tank reticule, then it's going to, or tank icon even I should say, it will continue to turn and it will eventually hit that target. And not only that, but the tow missile is very powerful, so it's a really good one to bring in here. Now, as you can see, we've cut around to C. Why have we cut around to C? Well, we've cut around to C because, you know, often on these bases, people, once they've got the 3 bases, they push forward to A and B. So I said, okay, let's cut around the back here and we'll have a good chance of being able to pick up C. Unfortunately, as you can tell, Ackbar here dominating in his T90, which was not good news for us. However, it did mean that we got a couple of people on the ground at sea, and we've destabilized that position. Now, again, why is it good to take the back base first? Well, it's good because it means that then they will pull people off of those front lines, and that means that the blue team members who perhaps, yes, well, just the less said about that the better, but the blue team members who are further up and maybe don't have such cognitive tactical ability, they will automatically, as you can see now at A, okay, little helicopter and a blue guy coming in here, they will automatically start to cap up those bases because they're the nearest ones. I often like to think of blue team members as AI or lemmings, but I think thinking of blue team members as just AI is a good thing. Just think of them as computer players, and they will always do the most simple thing. So you can actually help to control the blue players by sort of leading their leading what they're going to do, by sort of giving them sort of no options. So like, as I say, if you start to cap C, as they enter into the map, they will automatically go for either A or B. Couldn't find this guy. I thought that was quite, even though I get killed here, I thought it was kind of impressive that I could spin around and out of that entire area I still managed to pick off where he was. I got a few hit markers, so I was quite satisfied with that, considering he was set up on me there. Now you will also notice that we're having a really difficult time. It really was. The start of this round was very, very hard, and the fact that we managed to pull anything out of it at all was quite impressive. I am obviously taking a lot of kills here. I really... Do you know what? This is a typical thing of me. Like, I'm moving around. There was no need for me to move there. I should have just stayed still, and I could have burst fire, and I would have had a much better chance of taking that guy down. It's a typical thing. I was saying to my guys, the reason I have problem with the whole moving thing when I'm standing still is because I have said this before, I've gotten so used to, in my mind, the habit and ability of moving and shooting, because in classic FPS games that was a really excellent skill to have, you know, the ability to constantly move and then keep your, you know, your sight on target was a really, really good thing. Obviously in Battlefield it's not. In Battlefield it really screws you over. That was a fail as well. I remember this at the time. It was so irritating because I was expecting the tank to come back, or I was expecting a jeep to come in, but they didn't, and I didn't have a chance to change out and get onto that guy. Irritating. This was an annoying start to the round for me, but as I say, you know, I'm never worried about putting up this kind of gameplay, and you only have to look at my videos this week to see the tidal wave of negativity from people. And it's strange, you know, it's like people simply can't help themselves, but if they see like a little piece of game, you know, got a couple of kills here, I'm not doing so bad, but it's like when people see a little piece of bad gameplay, they cannot help themselves but tear that person apart. It's a good job that I've kind of gotten beyond being too fussed about that. It's never nice, you know, like you never like to see it. Come on. The Rex has improved a lot, by the way. The Rex is really nice now. If you even just get the Rex, just fire it, empty the clip, you'll see how fast it is now, and it's really has become quite a nice gun. But yeah, it's kind of good that I've tried my best anyway to move on from you know, getting those kind of negative, you know, negative hating comments. But I have to say, people on YouTube are appalling. They are horrifically horrible to other players and other people, which at the end of the day, that's all they are, just other people. And I won't name names, but I've seen a couple of people that I know and I make videos with, and not here but on Pixel Enemy as well, and it's like, you know, sometimes they put up a video, a very well thought out video, and people will find some small thing to sort of tack onto, and then they will just stick with it, and they will just, you know, tear that person down, and it's awful to see. It really is. And at the end of the day, those people are only embarrassing themselves, and they're also making it less likely that those people who make good content are going to want to make more videos. I think it's an extremely sad thing. But anyway, so we're having some good times with this round. As I say, the thing that I've kind of really enjoyed about this was the fact that, also I should say, I noticed these guys here, there's so many down here, and I said I'm sure there's a recon point around here. So it's always worth checking this kind of dry dock area, because there's often someone down here, there's often someone, yeah, look, see, all of a sudden, 3 guys. You have to ask yourself, where did those 3 guys come from? So I was absolutely certain, and what do we find? Running around here. Yep, without a doubt, there's a guy right up here. And you know that they're going to have also some kind of recon respawn around here, and we need to find that. So I'm just trying to have a little scout around. And although these things take you seconds, it is worth always doing, because it's, you know, it's really important that you make sure an area is clear before you move on to the next one. But yeah, so the thing that was the best about this round really was just that I had such a good time. And as I said, I was playing with the guy from Battlefield Friends, Jon, and it was really good. Really nice guy, really good fun. We had some good conversations, and also really good to play with someone who actually can be sensible, tactical and calm at the same time. We just say, okay, where are we moving next? We're going to go to B, go left, go right. And you know, the other thing is, it's really nice to play with someone who's not kill obsessed as well, like me. Someone who is, you know, quite happy to run to a base and just cap it up, get killed, move back, whatever. You know, you're just enjoying the game. And you know, he said the same too. He said, oh, you know, that was a great game, really enjoyable. So but yeah, I think this game was really good as well, because it does show a typical conquest game, and it shows the kind of failings and successes that you can have in that situation here. And as I've said before, one of the most important things, oh yeah, I remember this bit. I underestimated how far they're flanking around. You can actually see there's like 3 guys here actually out on the dock. I saw that red triangle marked, and it just shows again that, you know, trusting just the marks is never a good thing, because there could be another 3-4 guys there that you're not aware of. So you shouldn't always trust those red dots implicitly, and I did there, which was obviously my own failing. But yeah, the reason that I enjoyed this round so much was, as I say, it was just one of the first rounds for ages where it kind of felt like balanced play. You know, we were pushing forward, we were pushing back, we were working as a team, we were capping bases, and we didn't end up in a kind of horrific spawn camp situation, even though at first they had taken those 3 bases out. Oh, Ackbar. Oh dear. I would like to say something else as well, though. We were talking about this in game, about the fact that, you know, several times I went to try and take Ackbar down in this game in the tank, but doing that yourself, and I probably, in honesty, I thought about this after, I should have gone perhaps with a C4 setup, because Canals, it's quite easy. The tanks don't have a lot of area to speed off to unless they're going straight down the road, and you can see that I start trying to take him down here because I'm the only person at B, and I was trying to, you know, keep it basically, but with a tank parked on the central flag, there's not a lot of chance that I can get back and cap it. But you can see I'm trying to take him down here, but with a s'more, there's you know, there's not a lot I can do other than what I'm doing, which is trying to sort of disable him, and then hopefully he'll either bail or I'll get a lucky destruction. But the thing is, as I say, if you can pick up some C4, that's going to give you... Oh, I actually did get a kill. Hey, how about that? I didn't think there's any chance. Okay, I take it back. Yeah, that I can just dominate any vehicle, and you can just be a one-man tank killing machine. No. But basically, what I really was thinking was that, you know, if you can just get one other person to fire a couple of rockets at a tank, it's going to go down so much quicker than just one person. And it's something you really need to be aware of in game. If you see someone else firing at a tank, or if you're in a game where tanks are involved, and also with a lot of people playing armored kill, that is something you really want to consider, is that there are going to be loads of tanks, and you want to think what's best to do that. Now, it's very difficult to judge whether you should be going with a javelin, or whether you should be going with an Igla, or whether you should be even going with an RPG. Look at Raven here, right? I was sure. No. Just shows as well how very, very good the M416 has become as well, how fast you can drop people there. And oh look, he's running with the same setup almost that I had the other day, where everyone raged against me. But anyway, yeah, it's a tricky one to know whether you want to go with an Igla, RPG or Javelin, because, you know, so many people use the smoke now, and then you've got the whole thing of the AC-130 and other vehicles up. So do you want the Igla to take them out? And then, you know, the whole RPG thing, if you're in a kind of slightly closer situation like this. I think the RPG is actually a bit underrated on maps like this, because people generally go for the old C4. But the RPG does give you some benefits in that obviously you can keep your distance, you can take out air vehicles as well with it. So I think on the more kind of classic Battlefield maps, I would definitely choose that. On Armoured Kill, it's a bit tricky because it's not so powerful. and you know, when you're facing multiple enemies, that can be not necessarily enough to take them down. Trouble is, with the javelin, everyone's going to be using smoke. However, I will tell you as well, I recorded some Armored Kill gameplay yesterday, and we were playing. I unwillingly ended up playing a round of tank superiority on Bandar. Let me tell you, Bandar tank superiority, really nice. It was a really good map, and I tell you what as well, my optics came into their own. You know, I made a video the other day talking about optics for tank vehicles and how it's a genuine you know, choice up, and everyone's going, no, you've got to take the smoke. It's really not. You know, provided you sit at enough range, once you have your range figured out, it's very easy to pick targets off. And I was sitting a good sort of half-mile away, and I was hitting targets and stuff. Then I decided to move up a little bit, because I just wanted to make it was not so much to make it easier, but if you sit very far away, because of the travel time from when you fire the round to when it actually reaches its target, it means that you're putting fewer rounds in effect across because of the time difference. You have to wait to see if your target hits so that you know you've got a range. So it takes a bit of time to sort of evaluate, and also because they're at range, you can't just keep firing targets and knowing it's going to hit. You really have to kind of work out, okay, where are they moving? And the other thing is, because of the time delay, and when you fire and when it reaches its target again, it means that if a target is moving fast, you're going to have to move, you know, you're going to have to move horizontally your aim further, because it's going to be more of a delay before that round hits the target. So sniping at long range is actually very tricky with vehicles, if you're at long range, that is. The slightly frustrating thing about that was that there was a lot of other people trying to do it, and I don't think any single one of them actually managed to even get a hit on an enemy vehicle, which, let's face it, is pretty typical. So I moved in, and yeah, it went a bit better. Anyway, back to this round, seeing as that's what we're actually playing. I'm yet back again facing the tank on my own. And he's guarding B quite successfly. I noticed there's an infantry out there, that's why I threw the grenade. I'm not throwing the grenade at the tank, because obviously that would do nothing. There you go. I was a bit disappointed at this next bit. I don't need to tell you that I get killed. I'm pretty sure it's because I'm at 15%. Shooting that guy point blank and it wasn't getting hit markers again then. I don't know whether the Rex has got that same issue that we used to have with the Magnum, where the Magnum had appalling hit recognition, which was always kind of annoying. But people are just going to say, oh, it's input lag. Because it's always that. Anything can be explained with that. There's a helicopter upside down, oh, it's input lag. I fired a whole clip out of it, oh, it's input lag. Honestly. Anyway, back in with the game. So I just want to thank as well Jon for playing this game with me, because as I say, it was just a fun round to play. I just had a lot of fun on this game, and it doesn't seem like it would be the kind of game that you'd have a lot of fun on, because right now we're getting wrecked and dominated, but it really was. I just enjoyed playing the game, and I used to say that it didn't matter whether we won or lost. I just enjoyed playing Battlefield. And that was definitely the case. The reason I used to like that was because the majority of the time you would have a kind of slightly constructive game, even if your team were losing. And that is what we've got right here. You see, we're capping some bases, and even though we're losing by a good 100 tickets or so, you know, we're still kind of having a fun time, and we're still capping bases. You run back, you have another one. That is what is enjoyable about Battlefield. It's about running between targets, retaking them, you know, fighting against the enemy and trying to hold them off. It's not so much the winning, it really is more the kind of constructive teamwork. That's what makes the game enjoyable. And so when people start spawn camping and trolling and dominating you in a kind of really sort of try-harding way, it really does spoil the game, in my opinion, because you don't have the chance to have that kind of enjoyable gameplay, and it really does just ruin it for me. It does a lot. But as I say, this round was much better, because even though we're losing, like I say, we're trying to be constructive. The team is actually making an effort, and we feel like we're doing something. I think that's what it is as much as anything else, is that you need to feel like you're actually doing something in the game. But if you're just constantly leaving the carrier, getting destroyed as you leave the carrier or whatever, no, look, I love the flying tank. But that's really what it is, I think. You need to feel like you actually have some input into the game. And yeah, it's the teamwork. It's the fact that you can say, yeah, there's a tank coming in here, are you on that, are you doing this? No, I'm going to B because I think there's a guy there already, blah, blah, blah. It's all this kind of stuff. I like the fact that we kind of solo defended against A here. See, Ackbar, he fell straight into my trap. But look how much damage he's taking. Even though I hit him, you know, in the rear here with the rocket, still he's totally fine, able to drive away. These things just don't go down very easy at all. And there was a total opportunity for me there when he landed that I could have C4'd him. So I think when I play these rounds again, I will go with that. And also with some of the changes that have been made and stuff, but the only downside with that is obviously the weapons that you can choose for the support don't necessarily choose, you know, it doesn't necessarily work very well for this kind of, I hate these things. I hate these things. You guys know that I'm not jumping over stuff is one of my pet peeves in this game because it's just ridiculous. It just seems to be so tricky. I always used to have on Metro that I could never jump over the bloody railings. It used to drive me absolutely ballistic. I hate it. And I know you have to kind of aim up a little bit, but it just seems that sometimes you can jump clearly over something, and other times you can be standing there jumping and jumping and jumping and jumping, and it will not animate. It will not get you up over that objective thing. So frustrating as hell. Anyway, we're sort of 2/3 into this video now. I hate that when it happens. Some guy gets some lucky sort of quickie no scope on you. I've done it as well to other people, so I know how it goes, but yeah, whatever. It's frustrating, isn't it? But yeah, let me know what kind of gameplay you want to ask. And also, I did mention to Jon from Battlefield Friends in this video, I sort of said, like, and as well, I did a little chat, and I kind of said, well, maybe I can get subscribers to actually suggest questions. So if you haven't seen that series, I'm actually linking it in this video. It'll be in the notes, and I linked it probably at the start as well. If you have some suggestions, and if you haven't seen that series, you really should go and check it out, because it's a really, really excellent comedy series. It's probably one of the best things going around in Battlefield. It's really worth having a look. And as I said to him as well, you know, I can totally appreciate the time and effort that goes into these things, because creating animations like this is not something you can do quickly. It takes time and a lot of effort. So when people are going, where's the next one, where's the next one, where's the next one, just be patient, you know, it'll be ready when it's ready, because these guys, I'm sure, have got more than enough to be doing without sitting 24/7 editing videos. But yeah, go check it out, because it's really good. But if you have some questions, I need to confirm it all and everything. Nothing's set in stone, but I don't see any harm in saying, you know, if you've got a question for the Battlefield friends, throw it up here, and when I get that put together, I can sort that out. So we're coming up to the final part of the game here. As you can see, we've kind of, I wouldn't necessarily say we've closed the gap, but I feel like we're having a stronger game, you know. We've started to pick up more things, and it shows as well that if you can kind of pick up, yet again, the momentum, it shows that momentum applies to not just Rush, but also to Conquest. If you can pick up that momentum, and you can start regularly capping bases, it becomes more difficult as a you know, defending team, or in this case just the enemy team, because it's harder for them. They have to start doing things. Now they are making a small error in a couple of places. They're putting a lot of pressure onto one base at one time, and that's another reason why you should try not to all go for one thing at the same time. I'm yet again facing off against the tank here, but luckily got a bit of help there from the little bird, put a missile down on that tank. But still, even though he took a couple of big hits there, this guy's still up. And yet again, Ackbar catches me out with the wrong weapon. But yeah, like I say, it's one of the reasons why spreading out is really, really important. Now, it doesn't matter so much on PC, because on PC you have enough people that you can just throw at anything all the time, so it's not such a big deal. On console, it's a much more difficult game to play on Conquest because of your lack of people. So it means that if you only have, you know, the amount of people that you have, it's harder to distribute them around the map because of how many enemies there are. And also, if they have more bases than you initially, if they've capped 3 bases or whatever, they're going to be able to throw most of their team at you when you start to cap a base. So it's really important that you spread out, because in spreading out, it means it's more difficult for them to decide where they can start to defend. But if you start just capping one base, then what will happen is they would, look, see how easy I went over that train right there? I just literally walked straight up to it. I didn't have to, you know, push my controller to aim up or anything specific like that. I just literally ran up to it and went to jump over it immediately. Now you compare that with a couple of times in this video where I'm just standing there jumping and I cannot get over it. I'm sure there's some trick which everyone's going to point me out. Look, here straight again, straight over, no problem whatsoever. Now I'm sure when people look at my footage they're going to go, "Ah, Luton, you did no." Yeah, I'm sure that's true, but you know, it shouldn't be like that. Everyone should be different. You should be able to just walk up to it and jump straight over it. Go down. MP7. Anyway, you can even see at this point in the game, because I don't want people later saying, because the enemy team will tell you lose a few players later on. However, I would like to say, if you look at the map right now, we have taken control of the map when the teams were still balanced, when they had as many as when we were getting dominated in the beginning. So I'm confident, and I'm very, you know, I feel sure that we won this game fairly, and we took it over when we did, because, you know, it can often be the case that when you're playing around, they can lose sort of 4 or 5 players, or a couple of their players can drop out for whatever reason, and they get some different players in who are not so good. Looking at the gameplay as well though, you know, you'll notice that there's a lot of our guys on the ground, but I didn't really want to spawn on them and be right in the middle of the fight, because I wanted to get back onto B as quickly as possible. The quickest way for me to get back to B here was literally, do I get this kill? No. Raven again. Damn you, Raven. But the quickest way for me to get back in was to just pick up a boat and just bomb it straight into the shoreline and stuff. So again, it's worth doing this. Don't discount your initial spawn ever on a map. Just because you have people at the ground on other bases, or you have other bases capped already. You know, the other thing to remember is that I know that they're going to be spawning at B, and there's a good chance that what they're going to be doing is pushing towards either B, or either A or C, I should say. So by picking up the boat there, it means that I not only can get there quickly, but it also means that I can come in from behind and sort of catch them off guard. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for me, but that's, you know, that's as it may. You will have times where it works out and times where it does not work out, and you just have to, you know, try those each and every time so that you can, you know, maximize how successful you can be. I think that's the other thing about my gameplay. I don't like to cut long sections out unless there really is nothing going on. There was kind of something happening generally throughout this video, so I left everything in. But sometimes I'll play around and I'll be defending an area, or, you know, if I cut kills out, it's often because it can be tedious. I mean, like I said, there was a round the other day where I got killed and rezzed 5 times in a row and I was on the spot. That was actually kind of funny. I should try and find that, because it was kind of amusing. But sometimes you're in a situation where you're maybe on a base, you're getting dominated, etc, etc. It's just not that interesting to watch someone getting killed and rezzed or dying or blown up every time they try to get anywhere and stuff. Unless it has some genuine tactical relevance, I will, you know, take it out, because there's just no need for it to be here. Oh, fail again, Raven. But that's the reason why with this stuff I like to keep everything in, because I think it helps as well for people to see. Like I often say, you learn the most from your deaths, you learn the most from when you're dying, because it helps you to see where you went wrong, it helps you to see what you could do better. Like in another situation, okay, 2 times on this base, I was pulling out the RPG when I really should have stayed with my main gun. So it's something that I can take forward, and I can think, yeah, you know, it's better for me to stay with that unless I absolutely know that I have a target to fire against. So that'll be something for me to take on board for the other one. The other one is to continue to remind myself that I should stop moving when shooting. I am trying to bang it into my head, but it seems to be very, very difficult to go against 10 years of natural instinct to continue to move. It's like when I'm firing, I don't even think about it. In the same way that Level has said about you know, controlling recoil, and the fact that he said, yeah, he doesn't even have to think about it, he just does it now. It's the same thing. I would really like it actually if I could transfer my ability to keep flanking with my ability to control recoil and remain stationary. So I have to try and do it. But you know, it's a funny thing how your mind can work, you know, and I'll tell you something else that I've been working on. A lot of people were asking why was my server private yesterday. The reason was that I was practicing piloting the jet, because since I started using different controllers and stuff, it's kind of made my head go screwy in terms of what I can control, and switching to the controller to control the jets and stuff, it was just, okay, here we go, look, what is it about this? Look, he gets over it fine. There we go. I think it's because I'm aiming down, but I did try it as well later on aiming up, and it just was not having it even then. So anyway, so I was practicing piloting the jets, and I got private server, got my guys in there, and we were just having some good practicing the gameplay there. it was really fun as well to just get onto my server without anybody else there, just have my guys, and we were just having some fun with vehicles, just practicing flying around and stuff, and just, you know, it's a good thing to do, is to practice sometimes. So yeah, that was really good. But it did make me think of a new series that I want to kind of try and bring in, and it's going to be called like Flying School or Top Gun or something. And there's a guy that I play with, a guy who plays on my server regularly. He's a excellent pilot, way better than me. You know, I'm not a particularly especially good pilot, but I always want to sort of practice and improve, you know. And so I said to him, I said, oh, you know, maybe we could get on my server and we can record some stuff and we can discuss about how to fly better, and, you know, things that can help other people improve as well as myself. So that was one that I was planning to do, because I know there's a lot of people who simply don't fly, and there's other people who maybe want to be better, because like I've said right now, I know for a fact that if I go up against someone like him, that I will fail each time. I won't be able to get them down. I just won't, because I'm not a good enough pilot. And you know, you need to know your own limitations. And you know, I can take down sort of average players, but when it comes to someone who knows what they're doing in a jet, I will get beaten by them each time, because I just can't do it. You know, it's one of my things that I can't do as well. So I said to him, yeah, let's get on and we'll do that. So that's a little thing that I've planned coming up as well. So that's another thing that'll be on the way when I can get that sorted out. But my server will be going back up public soon. However, I want to say as well, my server will be going back to its normal rotation. I'm not going to continue to run pure armored kill. So if you don't have that yet, or if you do, I mean, I'm going to have a couple of armored kill maps in there, so you need it really to play on my server. But you know, I want to do that. I'm not going to deny myself playing on the armored kill maps for my server. So on my maps, we've got some back to Karkand, we've got some armored kill, and of course some regular maps. I try to pick the best ones, the ones which I think are the most balanced and you don't get spawn camped the most. If you want to find my server, just type loot in. It'll still be private for now, but it'll be going public again tonight, tomorrow, whenever. So anyway, that's been this game, guys. It was very enjoyable. I do want to thank Jon from Battlefield Friends for playing with me, because we did have a really fun evening. It was great to play this round. It was good to chat, and as I say, I hope, you know, that we can do some stuff together, which I think we will. So that was really enjoyable. As I say, just a reminder, if you have some questions, please post them in the comments below, and that'll just give me a head start. Also, my 10,000 subs is coming up. We're sort of counting down to it this week or month, or however long it takes to get there. But in the meantime, please ask me some questions. I'm going to be doing a Q&A. I did a Q&A for ages and ages ago when I got like 2,000 or 3,000 subs. Again, look, even though I'm well aware of these guys here, make sure you clear them out. Make sure you find these recon points, because they will be down here. So make sure you check an area is clear before you make sure, because often you can cap a base, you start moving to the next one. Double check, scout, make sure it's clear before you move up to the next base. So yeah, if you've got some questions for me, please ask them. It can be on anything. I'm not going to ask any ridiculously stupid or crude questions, so don't even bother, or if you do bother, I will just ignore them. But yeah, please ask any questions. It can be about old retro gaming, it can be about new gaming, FPS, any genre. I hate you, Railways. Why do you punish me? Look, I'm aiming up. I can't get over the map. Anyway, yeah, I'll be talking about anything, so please ask me some questions. It can be as long as necessary as well, so if I get a lot of good questions, I will answer them. If I get only a few questions, it'll be a shorter video. So that's been this one, guys. I'm literally going to sign off here because we're coming up right to the end. Please like, share, subscribe my video. It really helps me out, and I'm only a small channel at the moment, so getting all the support I can from you guys is a really big help, and I really do appreciate it, because it makes a big difference for me. And also, as I say, you notice this, that you know, I've started having other people from, you know, good channels and stuff coming up, and it really helps a lot. I will be making, as I say, a move into Black Ops 2. I have made a short video about that. I'm going to continue to play Battlefield. I'll play it all the way, but I do want to have something else that I can change out to play, and I think it'll be good for that reason. I will have some videos and more kind of detail about that coming up. There's a few things to think about with that game, and I've contacted a couple of other well-known producers within COD who are also looking at Black Ops 2, and also they've got a little bit of Battlefield content on their video, so they're kind of in the same situation as me. So that is something to watch. That'll be coming on the way as well. So anyone like me can look at these things objectively in a non-fanboyish way. I think we'll be on board with that, and I can explain a bit more about that in other videos. So that's been today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and see you for some more very soon.